In love, fate plays a huge role. You may have met someone and immediately felt a strong connection, as if you had known each other before. That is when past fate brings us together. But sometimes, attachment and attachment become a burden, making the people involved tired. Because we do not understand the origin of fate, we often love selfishly and desire to possess. Love in Buddhism emphasizes compassion and giving rather than expecting to receive. The Buddha once said that true love must be a liberating love, helping us and others overcome suffering. When you love someone, love with all your compassion, without clinging or possessing. A true lover is someone who is willing to help the other person grow, be free, and be at peace in their own lives. Instead of loving for the sake of self-satisfaction, we should learn to love because we want others to be happy. This is the difference between selfish love and selfless love that Buddhism teaches. There is a story about a young man who fell in love with a blind girl. Because she could not see, he tried to show himself as a rich and decent man every time he met her. Day by day, he saved every penny to help her have the opportunity to have eye surgery, hoping that when she could see the light, his love would be reciprocated. But when the girl's eyes were healed, she was surprised by the fact that he was just a poor man, not like she imagined. Despite the pain, the young man still accepted to leave, because his compassion made him understand that love is to wish the girl to find joy and happiness in her new life. This is a sad story, but it contains a lesson about compassion in love. In life, we do not always meet good fate. Sometimes the people who come to us make us suffer, but they are the factors that help us learn to grow up. Adversity is not necessarily a negative thing. When we know how to transform adversity into a lesson for the soul, it is a form of blessing. Adversity trains patience, tolerance, and helps us see ourselves more deeply. Imagine you meet someone who always hurts you. Without guidance from Buddhism, you might easily blame them and want to stay away from them. However, Buddhism teaches us to transform our emotions, to see that person as coming to teach us a lesson in patience and forgiveness. When you learn to face it and not resist, negative emotions will gradually disappear. That is how adversity turns into favorable conditions in life. Everything in this life is impermanent. People can love each other today, but do not promise to be together forever. The Buddha once taught that accepting impermanence helps us escape unnecessary suffering. When we understand that nothing is permanent, we learn to live in peace without wanting to hold on. There are people who spend their whole lives pursuing a love or a relationship without understanding that true happiness does not come from possessing, but from the serenity of knowing how to let go. Letting go here does not mean not loving, but loving freely, without clinging. This is also a profound lesson in Buddhism that we need to practice every day to find inner peace. People who live with compassion always see everything through the lens of understanding and wisdom. They are not easily caught up in the vortex of hatred and selfishness. On the contrary, they see the truth hidden in every situation, thereby developing compassion and not wanting. People who know how to live according to the philosophy of letting go will feel life becomes lighter, not entangled with meaningless things. Another story about Buddha is also a great lesson for us. Once, while walking with his disciples, Buddha saw a falcon chasing a dove. The dove flew into his robe, trembling with fear. He slowly held it in his arms and gently told his disciples that everything in this world has a destiny. If it is destined, we will meet. If it is not, we will not. Only a peaceful mind can accept both beautiful and sad scenes, helping us overcome all pain with compassion and tolerance. We live in a world where everything has a destiny. Nothing is accidental, from meeting, loving to parting. Every person who comes and goes in life leaves behind a lesson, and if you know how to accept it with an open mind, life will become more peaceful. Do not resent anyone who makes you suffer, because that is just a part of the karma from a previous life. Forgiveness, love, and learning to live peacefully are the ways for us to overcome all causes and conditions and find peace for ourselves. Therefore, when we understand causes and conditions, accept everything in life calmly, without being immersed in joy or resentment. Like a river that flows constantly, human life is the same, full of storms, joy, and sadness. It is these experiences that help us become more steadfast, mature in causes and conditions, and no longer be swept away by events. Be grateful for those who have come, gone, and stayed in your life. Each person leaves a mark, so that we can learn to love and accept life with a peaceful soul, without regret. We all inevitably encounter difficult times in life, when everything seems to go against our wishes. Failures, misunderstandings, and even losses sometimes make us feel helpless. However, according to Buddhism, the important thing is not to avoid all obstacles, but how we accept and transform them. In Buddhist scriptures, it is taught that an open heart will naturally accept both joy and sadness. Just as water does not choose its path, no matter what rocks or blades of grass it encounters, it still flows gently through. Life is like that. If we know how to be flexible, accept, and let things happen naturally, we will not be burdened by negative emotions. There are relationships and circumstances that no matter how hard we try to change, we cannot change them. For example, a close friend suddenly becomes distant, a once deep affection gradually fades, or there are dreams that do not come true. All of these can be challenges, lessons that fate wants to teach us. Buddhism teaches that fate is like tidal waves. They come and go, no one can hold them back. Therefore, live with letting go, accepting what cannot be changed, and constantly moving forward. This helps us escape the cycle of suffering and see the value of each present moment. Overcoming suffering with wisdom. Buddha teaches that suffering is an indispensable part of life. Like a lotus blooming in the mud, every time we overcome pain, our soul is purified and our wisdom becomes clearer. Instead of blaming fate, look within to find a way to overcome it. Wisdom is the lamp that lights the way to help us go through all adversities without being too hurt. Understanding impermanence to cherish the present. Fate comes and goes. There are people we are with today, but tomorrow we may not see them again. Understanding the impermanence of life will help us appreciate the present moments instead of living in anxiety or regret. Life is a series of surprises, and when we know how to appreciate the present, we will feel more peaceful. When we understand that karma is the result of what we did in the past, we will forgive more easily. People come to us, maybe to repay or to receive debts, but all deserve to be welcomed with compassion. Forgiveness and compassion are ways to transform all bad karma into good karma, and that helps us have a more peaceful and gentle life. When we look at people around us with compassion, we no longer feel jealous or competitive. Understanding helps us see that the success and happiness of others can also be our joy. A heart full of love, not only for ourselves but also for those around us, is the key to helping us live peacefully, overcoming all suffering and adversity. Just like the light that radiates from a lamp, kindness and compassion will help us connect with all the causes and conditions in life. When we sow the seeds of kindness, whether with loved ones or strangers, good things will gradually return to us in many different forms. That is the law of cause and effect, the result of the actions and thoughts we have created. Each cause and condition is a piece in the big picture of life. Each person is a note in the symphony of fate. Whether happy or sad, whether favorable or unfavorable, accept everything with an open heart and clear wisdom. Buddhism is not only teachings, but also the way we live, face life. Finally, remember that, like water flowing through a ravine, like wind blowing through the trees, everything comes and goes according to fate. Live peacefully, let go of the burdens in your heart, to welcome every moment in life with joy and serenity. That is how we honor our relationships and live each day to the fullest. Life is not only our own journey, but also a part of the journey of all those who have passed through our lives. Each person is a precious relationship, a lesson that never fades. Be grateful and cherish the relationships that have passed, whether favorable or unfavorable, because they all contribute to making us who we are today.